Ooh, mount the algorithm? Yup. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. Today we're going to talk about 5 things that everyone should be working on. We're actually going to be skipping the Farm This Next series because not much has really happened other than we do have Senior Jin. He's here and he looks cool and all that, but CG hasn't really told us that much new stuff. So we're going to be focusing on just 5 things everyone should be working on this month, folks, because there are a lot of things that I think we should be trying to stay relevant in. And one of the things that you should be working on is becoming my patron. No, but if you want to join, folks, you can. It's linked in the video description, and you get full access to a bot that will tell you when you get sniped in arena, so you can get those bastards back immediately. If you're not interested in that, that's fine. But my patrons are amazing, and I really appreciate every single one of them. And if you want to support this channel for free, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, folks. Like, subscribe, comment, mount the algorithm. Yep. So we're gonna talk about these 5. What 5 dare you ask? Dare I say? Let's go, folks, to the whoa. We're in the game madness. This is so we're in the game again. Gosh, is it getting old? Okay, so number 1. This one might not surprise you guys. I've been talking a lot about Bo-Katan Mandalore lately, and we're doing this from the perspective of my smallest account. You can see that I'm actually backing these with my actions. I'm not just preaching, I'm doing it myself. So even if I'm wrong, I'm doing it to myself as well. And it's hard to recover from the disaster of choosing the wrong stuff on an account that doesn't spend much money. So hopefully you guys can see that this account at 8 million now, which is in Kyber 2, and is doing very well, is working on Bo-Katan Mandalore. I think Kelleran Beck is a fantastic addition for any of your Jedi collection. You know, like he's just good on a lot of Jedi teams, I should say. And then Bando you need anyways. IG-12 and Paz, obviously you have to farm them. And yes, I know we're talking about, once again, non-accelerated characters, and I get that people don't want to do that. I get it. I totally do. But you should do it anyways, because I've been killing Malgus for a long time with Jedi Cal now, because I worked on those requirements, and you just farm them. Just don't do refreshes necessarily. Just you know, every once in a while. I mean daily, but I mean just 5 attempts a day. That's all you need to do, guys. You'll get there eventually. It takes like 6 months. I know it feels like forever. It really helps though. It really does. And Bo-Katan Mandalore is taking out all kinds of things. She's holding her value in a big way. She's helping with Rise of the Empire stuff. She's helping in Conquest. I can't help but think she's going to be important for more than just that, though who really knows. She seems like she's going to actually be the real deal, as opposed to like Aphra, who is just the height of luxury. I really don't think the Bo-Katan can be considered a luxury character at this point, honestly. I know that she's kind of endgame or whatever, but she counters Lord Vader and Jedi Master Kenobi without any kind of fancy datacron. She probably counters all sorts of other things. She's been extremely useful this 3v3 season without her amazing broken datacron. So I would highly recommend working on Bo-Katan Mandalore, folks, honestly. And the event is literally every single month. So it's just like a ship. It's like one of the fleets. You'll eventually be able to unlock really quickly. Let's see. We've got the number 2 one. Number 2. He said number 2. So I think you should be working. Not just I think. I know, folks, that you should be working on the raid in some capacity. honestly, yeah, it's a frustrating thing to have to work on non-accelerated characters. Here's the thing. There's something for everyone, honestly. If you just want to get something that will get you like one good score, you can work on STAP. STAP, I think, I would be pretty surprised, folks, if the Grievous droid team did not make some sort of appearance in the new raid, in the Naboo raid. Yes, I know it's up in the air. Maybe I'm wrong that happens, but I do think that these guys are going to be fairly important and maybe not get the best score, but this team is going to be really good. STAP is really strong in GAC right now, and I mean, of course, there's Datacron, but the Omicron also makes the squad really good, and I think the most amazing part about this is, for the most part, if you've unlocked General Skywalker, if you've worked on... Who's the other requirement? I think, is it Kenobi that you need a Relic 7 Grievous? You need him for either Kenobi or Vader. Anyways, you already have this team, probably, at least in some capacity. Even this account that only has 2 Galactic Legends has them all relicked, because it just does a lot of really cool stuff, and yeah, it's very worth working on, and it's only one character, guys. Yes, he's tough to farm. He's in Cantina. It takes a while. I get that. No getting around it. But it is a good team, and it's only one character. If you want to work on Gungans, I do think they're going to be an important squad. I don't know if they're going to be as important as like Inquisition, but I do think they're going to end up being fairly strong. They already are fairly strong, in fact, taking out Galactic Legends and the like, and having very few counters to them. So I think, you know, just slow farming. You can find other videos of mine that I've put out recently talking about this. In fact, that Farm This Next video, I believe, does talk about this quite a bit. Working on your Gungan farm is, you know, there's a plan for everyone, folks. Yes, non-accelerated once again, but you'll get this stuff and be relevant way faster, and you'll get to actually beat a lot of people who aren't prepared for that early on. And then, obviously, if you really want to do stretch goal, work on Queen Amidala. I mean, you should probably be working on Queen Amidala anyways, but if you want to do it the lazy way, like on this account, you can just get her in 6 months. By then, you'll have a decent start on Padawan, Obi, and Master Qui-Gon, Senior Jin, and you know, we'll actually know what the teams are like. This is, I don't really know if we're, you know, this is on this account, this might be something we skip, or maybe we'll work on it. I mean, there's just a lot to work on, folks, as you well know. So, work on the raid. Honestly, that's the best, most important thing, guys. The raid is where you get your stuff. That's really profound, I realize, but that's the foundation, guys. That's where you get your like all of your foundation gear. You get all your core gear. You get all of your Gear 12 stuff. You get a ton of high-level relic materials with the raid stuff, and if you're relevant in the raid, you're gonna be able to find a higher level, better guild to be able to get more Rise of the Empire loot. You're going to be able to do all sorts of things that you normally wouldn't be able to do because you're getting consistently high scores in the raid. The raid is kind of the foundation of where people should be focusing in this game right now. That is my opinion, of course, but I think it's an extremely correct one and obvious at the same time. So the next one that I think you should be working on, guys, work on Baze Malbus. I've been singing his praises forever. Not forever though. Forever. But here's the thing. He's been around forever. He was in the game before I was. Before I started the game, he was released like a few days before that. I started basically when he was released, and he wasn't good back then, really. I mean, he was fine. He was like the first pre-taunt in the game, and he did a lot of cool stuff. He has 2 specials that both dispel. One of them's an AoE. For back then, when Gear 11, I think that was the highest you can get. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. He was really strong. and then he kind of just eventually kind of faded into the background. It wasn't that great. But now, suddenly, we have this resurgence of characters. His kit hasn't changed. They haven't done anything to his kit, but they've made a bunch of kits that make you want to use him. So, yes, I wrote Rise of the Empire mission. Here, let's actually switch to my a bigger account so you guys can actually see more stuff, okay? Alright guys, so here's on my big account. You have Baze. Apparently I can't move that, but yeah, you have Baze, and then for the Rise of the Empire mission, he's a good part of it. If you want to include him, that's not the only comp that you can use, but he works well. He also just works well with Saw. I know a lot of people don't want to include him in that. They don't think that he's actually that good. The Saw's very good, but if you want to use Saw, which I tend to enjoy, so Baze goes really well with him. He also goes so well with Adrad, and Adrad, I'm kind of a late adopter to Adrad. He is, guys, he just does so much, in 3s especially, but 5s he's also very good. He does a lot of really cool stuff. He's also the pilot for one of the best fleets in the game, and yeah, he just does a lot. And then Baze makes this team, like all the win rates, if you look at the win rates of Adrad plus whatever other characters like Adrad, Jin, and then if you swap Baze out for someone, your win rate invariably goes down. Like, for some reason, he is just amazing with Adrad. And then also, Leia is like, you know what? Yes, I have all these rules about Jedi Rebels. Yeah, I think they're pretty neat. She's like, I respect them. But you know who I really think is hot is Baze. I really want him. And, he's the only rebel pre-taunt. That might be false. I'd have to think about it longer than I'm willing to. But Baze is a great character as a pre-taunt, and he gets a ton of turn meter. He does things that Leia really wants, like dispelling and more dispelling and taking hits and being hot. So lots of things that make him very attractive for that squad. And so suddenly we have 3 squads that are very relevant to the current meta in GAC, Territory Wars, in Conquest, and all this stuff, that where he just suddenly fits in really well. For whatever reason, it just took like 6 or 7 years for him to actually become that relevant. Let's switch back to the smaller account, however, and talk about thing number 4. Not this random Wampa, I just put him there for fun, I guess, and also not the meme, but I think you should be working on fleets, folks. And your fleet, if you have one really elite fleet group, that's really going to be strong. And I don't know, on this account, on my middle account, the one that has 10 million, or is it 11 million now? I don't keep track, but it's a bigger account, and I think it's 11, yeah. And I don't have the relics that high on these guys because the Executor fleet is not as relevant on that account. I'm working on getting my Sith Assassin worked up and the pilots for that fleet. But fleets are one of the most important aspects to this game, and having an elite fleet that can actually do a lot of good is going to be, it's going to pay dividends, guys. That's where half of your crystals come from, is Fleet Arena. If you're paying attention to that, if you want to work on that, that's really good. So number 5, I actually didn't intend for fleets to be number 4. For some reason, I just added it. So I guess we're going with 6 things. Here's one thing that you should be working on, though, folks, is, well, here. Whoa, madness. Look at that guy looks crazy. I'm glad we can't see his face. But here's the thing, guys. Work on getting relic levels. Find this video of mine. I just put it out in April, so just last month. And work on getting your relics, your small relic levels. And the places to get them, we don't have time to go over all of it, guys. But huge place to get them, though, is right here. These 2 every time. Well, the one that's 200 don't do, but otherwise these turn into like your chromiums, your bronziums. Those are the 2 that you really need to be focused on. Sometimes this one, they're not in this case. There's other stuff on this that you want to get, but in the Squad Arena store, you want to go to the very bottom and buy this stuff, especially this piece, the one that you get 20 of for 160. That's the one you really want to target. These other ones are also really good sometimes, usually for relic levels, but yeah, those two places are really important for it. There's a lot of other places you can get them. Go watch that video. Work on your relic levels, especially the small no, not this, hold on. This, especially this carbonite and bronzium stuff, you just run out of so easily, and being able to find places to farm those, really important stuff to be actively working on, guys. I know the stores aren't that fun to be going to all the time, and maybe it's more attractive to get that sweet shard store currency for you know, getting like this piece, for instance. But you need to be paying attention to those really small relic levels, because I mean, that's one of the big blockers. I'm gonna put out a video actually on specifically bottlenecks that are in the game. That's a huge one, but I would be paying a lot of attention to trying to get that gear, because it'll just stop you. Very similar to all of your signal data that you need. You know, that also will block you. All right, and then the final thing, folks, the final thing I want to talk to you about is Datacrons. And I know it's a dirty word for some people, and if you don't want to engage that, that's fine, but I would ask that you just hear me out for 1 second. Datacrons, first off, if you look at how many crystals you earn for winning in GAC, I pretty consistently get a 5 and 4 or a 6 and 3 record in GAC. That's possible. The way the squish works makes it so that it's possible to get a winning record every time. It's not just you win half no matter what. It's you can win 6 or even 7 matches every single GAC and still stay in the same relative area. And I realize that it's a big headache. Some people don't want the competition of it. That's fine. I just want to make sure you understand. Datacrons are the thing that sets people apart from animals. That's what makes us different. People are like, no, it's language, clearly. It's the ability to think. It's, you know, this, that, and the other. It's the popular question that all of the professors try to stump you with. And the real answer is Datacrons. That's what separates us from the peasants, folks. And this account, I spend $10 a month on the Conquest pack. That's the only thing I spend money on this account, and you can see I have a lot of Datacrons here. It's not a pervasive, it's not a crazy amount, it's not gonna get you to the top of Kyber 1, but I am in Kyber 2, and maybe I'll fall into Kyber 3, but I'm still making a lot of crystals for my GAC wins, and the huge reason is my opponents don't use Datacrons, and I do. And not always, sometimes they do, and then they just give me a royal thrashing because they're like 2 or 3 million more GP than me. But this enables me to do some crazy stuff. I have Ray on this account. I have 2 GLs. I'm consistently facing people with 5, 6, 7, or 8 Galactic Legends. How do I beat them? I beat them with a Holocron that goes with Ray and makes Ray overpowered so they can't clear her because they don't know how Datacrons work and they can't be bothered. That's fine. They can choose to do that, but pretty soon I'm going to have Stap up and running, and I'm going to be able to destroy them with Stap. Pretty soon, like, I mean, already I have the Padme-Cron, which is destroying people, and in 5s is going to be even stronger. My Supreme Leader Kylo team is completely overpowered right now and probably going to go on defense soon because Stap will fill in for him. And it's just... You can also, guys, look at this. I'm only going to have a few level 9s after the end of the season, but look at all the level 3s. Go farm your level 3s and just get this 15% max health and max protection for a ton of light and dark, and then just throw them on defense and watch how your opponents start losing to you. That's not always going to happen, not guaranteed, but guys, even just getting a decent level 3 or maybe some good stats depending, and you can watch videos of mine. I put out videos on what's good for Datacrons every time, so you don't have to make that decision, but it's going to put you head and shoulders above your competition. You're going to be able to rise up and get a way better prize. That being said, it's almost 20 minutes, so I'm going to let you go, folks. What do you think should be worked on by everyone? I would actually, honestly, genuinely love to know in the comments if you keep it respectful. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xerath prevails.